Hawaii friends, hope you are doing well. Welcome to Learn English with Stories. The scene opens in a pitch-black room. Heavy breathing and a faint heartbeat are heard. The protagonist suddenly inhales sharply, waking up disoriented. Confused and scared, they try to move but realize they are restrained. The sound of chains clinking echoes through the room as they struggle to break free. "Where am I?" they whisper, their voice trembling with fear. Panic sets in as they scream, "Hello? Is anyone there?" The room is dimly lit now, revealing bare walls and minimal furniture. The protagonist notices a table with a few items: a diary, a photograph, and a key. They manage to reach the table, their fingers brushing against the photograph. It shows them with a group of people, all faces blurred, except their own dot. "What is this place?" they murmur to themselves, flipping through the diary filled with cryptic notes and sketches. One entry catches their eye. They know, "I have to hide." If you're reading this, remember, trust no one. Suddenly, the sound of static fills the room, followed by a distorted voice coming from an unseen speaker. "You shouldn't have looked at that," the voice says ominously. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" the protagonist demands, their voice shaking. "You don't remember, do you?" "Think harder," the mysterious figure replies. The room's lights flicker, revealing more clues hidden in the shadows: a map with marked locations, a broken watch, and a torn piece of fabric. "Why am I here? What did I do?" the protagonist asks, panic rising in their voice. "Everything will become clear soon. But first you need to escape," the voice instructs. The protagonist starts having brief flashbacks, running through a forest at night, chased by unknown figures, opening a hidden safe, revealing confidential documents, meeting with a shadowy figure, and exchanging a package. They snap back to reality, breathing heavily. "And yeah, I was involved in something dangerous," they whispered. Using the key found on the table, the protagonist unlocks their restraints. They move cautiously towards the door, heart pounding as they turn the key in the lock. The door creaks open. "Please let this be real," they mutter, stepping out into a narrow hallway lit by flickering lights. The sound of footsteps echoes behind them. Time is running out. The mysterious figure's voice warns from the speaker. The protagonist finds themselves in a large, abandoned warehouse. The mysterious figure emerges from the shadows, face still hidden. "You were so close. So close to exposing everything," the figure says. "Exposing what? Who are you?" the protagonist demands. Exasperated, the figure steps into the light, revealing themselves to be a mirror image of the protagonist. "I am you, or at least a part of you. The part that you tried to forget," the figure says with a smile. "No. This can't be real," the protagonist stammers, stunned. "It's very real. And now you have a choice. Remember everything and face the consequences, or forget again and stay trapped," the figure says. The protagonist looks around, the weight of the decision pressing down on them. "What have I done?" they whisper, the screen fading to black, leaving the audience with the sound of their heavy breathing. Text appears on the screen. "Who can you trust when you can't even trust yourself?" The sound of a heartbeat slows and stops, and the screen remains black. The protagonist wakes up again, this time in a different room, similar but with slight differences. They feel a sense of déjà vu. Not again, they mutter, realizing they are once more restrained. The room holds different objects: a clock, a piece of a torn letter, and a small box. As they manage to reach the objects, they notice the letter piece reads, "The truth lies within." Opening the small box, they find a locket with a picture of themselves as a child with someone who appears to be a guardian. The voice returns, slightly clearer this time. "You keep waking up, but you never learn. Do you want to remember?" "Yes. Please tell me who I am." The protagonist pleads. "Find the key." "It's always been there," the voice responds cryptically. They look around the room, more determined this time. They spot a loose floorboard and pry it open to find a small key. Unlocking their restraints, they head to the door. But this time it leads to a long corridor filled with mirrors. Each mirror shows a different version of themselves in various stages of life. As a child, a teenager, and an adult. Each reflection speaks to them, revealing bits and pieces of their past: a troubled childhood, a rebellious youth, and a dangerous adulthood involved in espionage. Walking further, they enter a room filled with photographs and documents pinned to the walls. They recognize themselves in many of the pictures, involved in covert operations, meeting with shady characters, and handling sensitive information. The voice, now much clearer, speaks again. "You were an agent, working to uncover a massive conspiracy. But when you got too close, they erased your memory and locked you away. Why? Show me this now," the protagonist asks, their voice steady. "Because you need to finish what you started. The truth must come out," the voice says. A hidden door opens, revealing a high-tech command center. The protagonist sits at a computer, accessing encrypted files that slowly reveal the extent of the conspiracy: government corruption, corporate espionage, and personal betrayals. As they piece together the information, the room suddenly shakes. The voice warns, "They know you're here. You must hurry." With a sense of urgency, the protagonist downloads the files to a portable drive. Alarms blare and footsteps approach rapidly. They hide the drive in their pocket and prepare for a confrontation. The door bursts open and armed guards enter, using their combat skills. The protagonist fights them off, making their way through the facility. Each room they pass through brings back more memories, fueling their determination. Reaching the final exit, they encounter the figure from the shadows, now fully visible. It's a former ally, someone they trusted but who betrayed them. "You should have stayed." "Forgotten," the figure sneers. "I remember everything now," the protagonist replies, their voice cold. A fierce battle ensues, ending with the protagonist overpowering their former ally. Stepping outside, they are greeted by the morning sun. For the first time in what feels like forever, they breathe freely. It's time to expose the truth, they say, walking away from the facility. As the protagonist steps into the light, their memories flood back with overwhelming clarity. They recall their training, the missions, and the fateful day they uncovered the conspiracy. Their former ally, now defeated, groans in pain and mutters, "You don't know what you're up against." Ignoring the warning, the protagonist begins their journey to expose the conspiracy. They head to a safe house, a place from their past that might hold more answers. The safe house is an old, abandoned building, But inside it's equipped with everything they need: computers, weapons, and disguises. While gathering resources, they find a hidden compartment containing a video message from a former mentor. The mentor explains that the protagonist was part of an elite team investigating corruption at the highest levels. If you're watching this, it means they got to you. You need to remember who you are and finish what we started, the mentor says. Determined, the protagonist sets out to contact their former team members. They find the first one living under a new identity, hiding from the same people who erased the protagonist's memory. Reconnecting with the team brings a mix of relief and tension. As trust has been shattered and must be rebuilt, the team decides to regroup at a secluded location to plan their next move. There they share information and strategize on how to release the evidence without being intercepted. The protagonist's leadership skills come to the forefront, guiding the team with a newfound clarity and purpose. During a quiet moment, one of the team members reveals more about the protagonist's past. They were the driving force behind the investigation, relentless and fearless. You were our rock. We followed you because you never gave up, even when things seemed impossible, the team member says as they prepare for their mission. The protagonist continues to have flashbacks, each one more vivid than the last. They remember the night they were captured, the betrayal by their former ally, and the experiments that led to their memory loss. These memories fuel their resolve to bring the conspirators to justice. The team sets their plan in motion, infiltrating a high-security facility to access the mainframe and upload the evidence. The protagonist leads the way, using their intimate knowledge of the facility's layout and security protocols. The tension is palpable as they evade guards, disable security systems, and navigate through the labyrinthine corridors in the main control room. They face a final obstacle: the head of the conspiracy, a powerful and ruthless figure who has been pulling the strings all along. A confrontation ensues, blending physical combat and psychological warfare. The protagonist confronts the conspirator with the truth, using their regained memories and the evidence they've collected. Your time is over, the protagonist declares, as the team successfully uploads the evidence to multiple secure locations, ensuring it cannot be erased or hidden again. As they escape the facility, alarms blaring and chaos erupting behind them, the protagonist and their team feel a sense of triumph. But the journey is not over. They know that exposing the truth is only the beginning. They must now ensure justice is served and the corrupt are held accountable. The protagonist and the team retreat to a safe location, where they finally have a moment to breathe. They watch the news as the evidence is leaked, causing a media frenzy. Corrupt officials and executives are arrested, and the public's outrage grows. In a quiet moment, the protagonist reflects on their journey, feeling a mix of relief and sadness. They have regained their memories and their purpose, but the cost has been high. The team, now bonded by their shared experiences, pledges to continue fighting for justice. The protagonist decides to visit the grave of their mentor, paying respects to the person who believed in them and their mission. Standing by the grave, they speak softly, "We did it. We finally did it." As they leave the cemetery, they receive a message on their phone. It's a warning from an anonymous source: the fight isn't over. They're still out there, and they're coming for you, determined not to let their guard down. The protagonist and the team prepare for the next phase of their mission. They know that as long as there are those who seek to manipulate and control, their work will never be done. The final scene shows the protagonist looking out over the city, a sense of resolve in their eyes. We won't stop. Not until the truth is out and justice is served, they vow, as the screen fades to black. Months pass, and the protagonist and their team operate from the shadows, gathering more evidence and planning their next moves. They continue to expose corruption and fight for justice, always staying one step ahead of their enemies. The team grows, recruiting new members who share their vision and dedication. Each new mission brings its own challenges and dangers, but they face them together, united by their cause. In a climactic battle, the team confronts the remaining members of the conspiracy. The fight is intense and brutal, with casualties on both sides. But in the end, the protagonist and their team prevail, finally bringing the conspirators to justice. The story concludes with the protagonist standing before a crowd, addressing the public. We have faced darkness and corruption, but we have not faltered. Together we have exposed the truth and brought justice to those who tried to hide it. Our fight is not over, but we will continue to stand for what is right, no matter the cost. As the crowd cheers, the protagonist feels a sense of fulfillment. They have reclaimed their past, their identity, and their purpose. The journey has been long and arduous, but it has also been worth it. The screen fades to black one final time, leaving the audience with a sense of hope and determination. The message is clear: no matter how dark the path, the truth will always find a way to come to light, and justice will ultimately prevail. The protagonist's voice returns, calmer now. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, sometimes the most dangerous secrets are the ones we keep from ourselves. See you next time.